Our initial plan fell through slightly.
I need to get it in the right spot. Like I said, Alex, stop filming now. Guys, we had a little bit of a fail. Hi guys, and welcome to our channel. If you're new here, my name is Malin, and this one here is my husband, Alex.
We normally travel full-time around the world, but 2020 brought us back to Europe and Spain, where we're currently converting a van into a little home on wheels.
Guys, in this vlog we're going to take you along on the time-consuming quest of insulating the van. But before we move on to that, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here, hit the like button and share our video with a friend. Okay, we have finished putting in the two windows. We still have two porthole windows to put in, but we're going to wait with them. So we're moving on to the next step. We are going to insulate the van finally. So we have bought a few rolls of something that is called Kaiflex. It's an insulation that is soundproof, waterproof, and heat and cold resistant. So it's 3-in-1. They're quite expensive, but they are apparently very good, and they are the most popular ones that you will find in Spain. There are similar ones in other countries. I think there are some called Armaflex as well. I think they're very, very similar. We have made these templates out of this brown paper, and now we've cut off some of the insulation from the roll, and yeah, I'm cutting.
Our initial plan fell through slightly. What we didn't consider or take into account is the fact that the sticky side is not the outside. So luckily I thought about it just after we cut kind of the first one out, of our opposite window frame is the same dimension. So actually we could just kind of move window number 5, as we called it, into the cut for number 2, which was actually meant to be number 1. So yeah, it all went a bit wrong, but we've sorted it out. We haven't wasted any, so whew.
We had to use this template now on the first one that we started cutting out, and that also means that we have to cut out this hole in the middle. So that's what I'm doing now, and I really hope that we got it right. We're cutting it a little bit inside of the line so that it gets really nice and snug, and we can rather take a little bit more off if we need, right, rather than having a hole that is too big, because this is going around one of the windows. Guys, we're down in the van now. It's been quite many weeks since we were cutting out the insulation from our templates up in the house. It's been a very slow process because we have been busy doing other things. As you can see, it's black on the walls now. We've put in the insulation down here, down there. That was very tricky. Many small little gaps to get them in. We've obviously put the big ones in, and up there it was a little bit easier than down here. Not as many deep holes to stick your arms into, and now we just started with the insulation in the ceiling. So you see, we've done a lot, but it's been a slow process. Also, we have a dog, so we take him for long walks every day, so let's blame it on the dog. Anyways, we are working today and we're getting somewhere. Guys, so when we made these templates, Alex used paper that I put along like this in the gaps, and they didn't turn out perfect, all of them, because it was quite difficult. So now when we're putting them in, we're noticing that we're having a few gaps, so we're gonna have to try to fill them in, but we have a lot of cut-offs, so it shouldn't really be a problem. He's using this paint roller to get it all nice and tight and very glued on. You make it sure to put more that way.
Oh, how do I do that? You're one sticking it. Milo!
We need to put it in or it's not coming back out. You do it. No, this way, Milo. Uh-oh.
This way, come on. Super. Good boy.
That was slightly stressful, difficult. We had done all the pieces a little bit too small, a little bit too short, a little bit too long, but they're in now.
So when you're using this insulation, the Kaiflex insulation, and you want to do all these little panels up the top, it's really hard to get big pieces in, and it's a bit like a jigsaw. So you're going to get lots of offcuts, lots of small pieces, and you're going to get little spaces between them. And then in order to cover those spaces up, so you make sure you don't get any air gaps or any space where cold wind can come in or condensation, They've also got this tape, which is a 3mm tape, 5 centimeters wide, which you can just stick it on everywhere where you've got a line, basically a cut. So
which is pretty tricky as well in some spaces to get in with our hands.
Yeah, it's we've got cuts and scratches all over our hands, but it's going to be worth it, you know, when it's cold or when it's hot. But we've put all this effort into doing this and spent months and months and months doing it.
Way too long.
Yeah, well, probably actually not that long in total, but spread out over many days. So this is one of those tricky spots. This isn't the hardest one. The hard ones are really getting up inside here, but this one's not too bad. But still, it's a little bit finicky, you know. You gotta wiggle your hands around and try to get it to the same place, which I'm not doing a very good job of.
Plus, you've cut them skinnier to save tape, haven't you?
Yeah, we discovered that we could save half the amount. Oh, for goodness sakes! We could save half the amount of tape if we cut them in half. Whereas the first roll that we had, or first 2 rolls that we had, we didn't do that, which was kind of stupid, really, because
they're not cheap.
Well, they're not super expensive, but they're not cheap either.
We're using a lot of them.
And I can't get it. Yeah. So anyway, I cut it in half just to save a bit. But this is just basically, there's nothing exciting or scientific about it. Just follow the line and do a better job than I'm doing right now. I'm under pressure on the camera. Alright, there you go. Boom.
Something is moving under the blanket. Milo! Milo! Hola! Hola, Milo!
¿Dónde estás?
Hola, Milo! Uy.
¿Dónde estás?
I'm gonna get you out!
That's his head. Oh, there's his head. There he is.
Hola, Milo! Hola, Milo! Hola, Milo!
So we can't actually put the Kaiflex everywhere because some places are just impossible to get in, especially down here. This goes all the way down to the bottom and physically impossible to put the Kaiflex in there. So in most places we are going to use this expanding foam. We bought a little gun and this will get right down there in the holes, expand up nicely, and then after we've done that we will put the 6mm Kaiflex over the top of this just as an extra protection. Some people only put the Kaiflex over the top, but then you have this whole space in here which isn't insulated, and obviously I don't think that's really a good idea. So I made a bit of a mistake on the other side. I did this about a week ago now, and I just put it all in at once and then it expanded and it came out like this massive ball, and it was just complete waste. So since then I bought a proper gun and I'm going to do it slowly, a little bit at a time, let it swell up a bit, then put a bit more in, let it swell up. So, you know, just take it slow and steady. And if you've got it, I also bought this cleaner to make sure that the gun is clean afterwards. So, you know, if you want to take a break in between, you can reuse this, obviously, because that's important. On the back, you've got a plus minus. I'm not really sure. I'm going to kind of have it in the middle, I think. See how that goes. So I put in all this expanding foam last night and it's all expanded, obviously, and it's coming out of the holes. I need to trim it back with a Stanley knife, a nice little blade. Oh, Milo, leave it. Leave it. It's not for you, mate, is it? It's not for you. Leave it. I also put it in here because back in here it was impossible to get the Kaiflex in there just because it was too tight to get our hands behind, and down in there. I thought I didn't put too much in, but it just expands so much it's hard to know how much to put in, really.
We're back in the van, guys, and we're continuing with the insulation, and this time we're moving into the cabin.
Yeah, we're going to be taking out this headliner, and it's a pretty important place to actually insulate because, I mean, a lot of sun or cold will hit that, and we need to make sure that that doesn't happen. And as we're not going to have a wall in between the cab and the back of the van, it's important to make sure that that is well insulated. In order to take out the headliner, you need one of these star keys, and you need to take out 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts. And then after you've taken all of those out, you also need to take out this big A-frame, which I'm a little bit worried about because it looks a bit complicated. And then you can just basically slide it off, and you've got to be careful with taking this off as well because you're going to need to disconnect the electric supply to that. But yeah, that's pretty much all you have to do, and you can slide it out afterwards. So,
easy peasy.
Let's get going.
Let's get going.
So it works, and I can do it with this. It's just really tight, and it's taken a long time. So I'm going to go and ask the neighbour for the drill set, so I can use the drill set instead. So I've got the drill piece, and I've got all of them out apart from the last one, which has started slipping and kind of wearing away at the metal in the bolt. So I'm going to have to go back to the trusty hand one and hope I can get it out, because if we can't, then we have a problem. Okay, it's turning. That's good. Bear with me, guys. This could take a little while.
We're in lockdown. We've got all the time in the world.
Oh, yeah. Would be nice to finish this one day. Maybe this year, 2021, we can finish it. What do you reckon, Malin?
We need to finish it before the next MOT or ITUV.
Yeah, what's that? February 22. Yeah. It's February 22, not 21, right?
This is February 21.
It is 22.
We've got a year.
Right?
We've got a year.
We've got another year. Are you sure?
Yeah.
I hope so. There we go. Now we're talking. So, I don't know if you can see the end of that. It's gone all kind of rounded a bit. So, that's why it was slipping so much. So, next step, take out these A-frames, which hopefully won't be too difficult. Come on.
There you go.
One down. The next step is to take these off. Normally you'd use an upholstery knife or upholstery lever. I have a trusty chisel that's really blunt. It's really old, so that's fine. I think you just kind of wedge it in here and just kind of pop it out. Kind of. Okay, so I got this off now. I'm just going to leave it there so we don't have to properly take it out, because I don't know how difficult it is to get back in. Next one on the other side. And stick this down. Pull it kind of out and towards you, and it should just clip off.
It did.
Like that. Okay. Next thing, we should just be able to kind of pick this up and slide it off. Apparently, you should just be able to pop them out like that. I don't know. Yeah, that looks right. I think that. Oh, maybe it goes in. I'm not sure. Oh, it went back in again. Is that how it works? I don't know, I've got a feeling that one broke.
Oh no! You think it broke?
Wait.
Really?
I don't know, they're apparently easy to replace, but... Now we need to do some disconnecting with the electrics in here.
There you go.
Outside. Dog's gonna escape.
Well done. That wasn't too bad, was it?
Not too bad, not too bad.
So before we put the insulation in, we obviously have to clean this surface down. I'm very happy though, because it's only really one big piece that we're going to have to put here. I was worried that there were going to be many smaller pieces, or one big piece and a few smaller, which is a lot more work. But now it looks like this is going to be a pretty easy and quick job to do. But like I said before that, we need to clean it down, because the Kaiflex, the insulation that we're using, has adhesive on one side and it needs to properly stick. The first thing I did was to clean the ceiling with some soapy water in a spray bottle and this cloth, and now I'm going to do the same with this.
Yeah, so this is called alcohol de quemar, which means burning alcohol. So this just gets rid of all that residual grease to make sure that when we put the Kaiflex on with your self-adhesive, we get the best possible stick to the ceiling that we can actually get. Yeah, if it comes off, it's just pointless having it on there. So it's really important to get a good surface to get it onto.
Unfortunately, the Kaiflex isn't wide enough for the long and skinny piece that we want to start with putting in the gap there. I'll show you in a little bit. So we had to use what we have. I also cut it in 2 pieces to make it easier to attach, because the longer the piece, the more complicated it is to get it stuck with the adhesive side. All right, let's see if we can get this piece in. I've pulled back the plastic, and Alex and I are disagreeing on how we're supposed to put this in. I'm going to put it in this way. Alex wants me to pull the plastic off that way and then put it on like that. I don't agree. Let's see if this works. Because once it's on, and you can't redo it. I need to get it in the right spot. Like I said, Alex, stop filming now. Sorry guys, you're not going to be part of this because I'm going to freak out and have an outburst of anger, and I don't think you want to see that.
Yeah, we do. I totally do.
No, we don't want to do that. But honestly, guys, this is something that we need to do, both of us together, in order for it to don't get stuck on the actual wall here like it just did before it should be stuck on it. Unfortunately, I have to admit this time that Alex was right. I don't really like doing that, so I'm sorry, Alex, you were right.
You're forgiven, darling. All is forgiven.
Guys, we had a little bit of a fail. I put the second piece in the wrong way around, so it didn't perfectly join the other piece. So now we have a gap in the middle. Plus I didn't manage to push it down properly. Not really sure what we're going to do about those gaps, because once you got this in, you can't really take it out again.
We have some 6mm Kaiflex. We just installed 20mm on the front. So we're going to use a 6mm, try and slide it down and cover up our silly mistakes. What's the problem there, Malin?
The problem is we don't have much to work with.
Not much space, right?
No. Oof. I'm not sure if this is going to work out, guys.
Too much of a challenge for Malin?
Too much. I don't think we can do it, Alex. In the end, I managed to put this in. It was a bit tricky. However, we didn't get that on film because a farmer from the village came by and had a beer and a cigarette and a little talk with us. But it's in. We covered the gap.
So I'm now cutting the 30mm or 3cm Kaiflex that we're going to put up. It doesn't fit the whole cabin because this is all we've got left over after doing all of the roof spaces. So on the sides, we're going to have to put some 20mm just to fill in. Yeah, we're going to cut it in half so it is easier to put in afterwards.
Guys, I'm sad to say that this was a little bit more difficult than we anticipated. We thought that putting like one big thing in there would be easy peasy, but no guys, we had to put it in several pieces. We ended putting the pieces in wonky. Now we have gaps. Oh my god, I don't even want to talk about it. This has been so stressful and we're not done. So we have decided that we're going to continue this mess tomorrow instead, because tomorrow we have to finish. So we'll see you tomorrow.
Morning guys, I am back in my van. It's a bit cold this morning. I'm down here about 9. It's actually started raining. It's really dark and miserable outside. But we need to get these bits done. It's pretty important, you know. If we don't get these done, then we can't move forward. We can't drive anywhere because we haven't got the headliner on. So we are going to get cracking with that right now. These are all the bits that need to be filled. It goes down quite far, right down to the front there. But, you know, we want to make sure we do a good job. So I'm going to do like a little patchwork with all the 20cm ones to fill up the spaces on both sides. And then in this bit, it's going to be very difficult to put anything in there, so we're thinking maybe we have to foam it. We'll have a look a bit later and see what possibilities are there.
Yeah, it's pretty dark and miserable and it's pissing it down with rain actually. I just got down here with the dog. I was ready for a new day with sun. I got to show you the walk that I do with the dog every morning, but no, it's not happening guys. We're gonna have to do that another day. It's actually so dark that Alex had to run upstairs and get our working light because we can't see what we're doing in the van at the moment, and you won't be able to see either.
Here we go. Boom!
And there was light.
Here we have this whole bag of offcuts. I'm just trying to use all of these up because, I mean, we paid for that stuff, so might as well use it rather than cutting new bits, bespoke pieces. We'll use all the old bits. So yeah, just filling this hole up. It
feels like we're actually getting somewhere today, and one of the reasons for that is that the dog Our little furry friend Milo has been really behaved. Most of the times when we're down in the van working, he whines, he cries, he doesn't want to lay on his bed. But as we got down here a little bit earlier today, and he's normally very chill in the morning, it has actually worked out. However, he doesn't want to be on his bed anymore, and he's moved to the front seat where we're working, laying in the sun. His favorite thing to do.
The jigsaw in is complete. It was a bit of a challenge, to be honest. It was like putting a puzzle together to use all those little small offcuts we had, but I think we've done a pretty good job, and hopefully it will insulate this area nicely.
Well, we're not done yet. What's the next step in the insulation here in the cabin?
The next step, we want to do something up here because there's a bit of a big space up there. It's as you can see, there's a big space and it goes right down into this column. So we would like to put some expanding foam in there. However, there is that hole going down, so maybe we need to cover that and then put the expanding foam, and then basically we're done and we can put the headliner back in.
That's not completely true though.
Isn't it?
I think Alex was a little bit too enthusiastic there. You see all these gaps? They need to be covered with insulating tape. And as we have used so many small offcuts, we're going to use a lot of tape. We're taking a break from insulating. Alex has gone home to prepare lunch for us, and I've taken Milo for a little walk just behind our house at the neighbors. It's so pretty this time of year. Not sunny today, but look at all the almond blossoms. It's absolutely amazing.
Alright, we have been watered and fed, and we are ready to put the insulation tape on top of those little gaps that we have created with our jigsaw piece.
We've got this 3mm thick insulation tape that we are covering the gaps between the different pieces with. However, it is 5 cm wide, which is a little bit too wide. I think we wasted quite a lot of insulation tape when we were doing the other parts of the van. So what I've done now is that I've cut it in 2 pieces. I cut it in the middle, and that way we're saving both tape and money. Look at that beautiful patchwork, guys. This is what we meant earlier when we were talking about the jigsaw puzzle. We put all of those small little pieces in, and then we had to cover up the gaps with 3mm insulation tape. Maybe we wasted our time a little bit doing that, but we sure did save some money. Guys, this whole insulation process of the van is taking way too long, and I think we're going to spare you from the rest of it, or at least we're going to update you about it in another video, which means we're ending it here. So if you liked it, please leave the video a like. If you're new here, subscribe to our channel, and don't forget about the notification bell button. Push that one as well so that you get updated next time that we upload a video.
Also, drop us a comment below. Tell us what you think of the type of insulation we went for. If you've done a van build yourself, what insulation did you use, or what would you prefer to use if you're doing one?
Are we just wasting our time? Let us know. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for coming along on this insulation journey, and we will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye! Milo, hola. Oye, sube. Mira, sube. So this is not going to work out with the dog, I think. Milo.
Nooks and crannies.
I shouldn't say that.
Well,
if we try to turn it around, see if it's better the other way around.
Oi, Milo.
Come back. Oi. He's a good boy. Oi. The first thing I did was to clean off the ceiling with some dirty water. I was about to say, no, I'm not cleaning with dirty water. Alex, stop filming now. Stop filming. No. Stop filming now. We can't do this. What just happened?
Wow, he has let...
Who? That one?
No, not me. This smelly pooch has let out the... Yeah, that's right. Stretch a little bit, don't worry.
That was a lethal fart. A special thanks to all of our patrons for keeping us motivated and helping us stay on the road. If you too want to become a Patreon, head over to our page. You will find the link at the end of this video and down in the description below.